Hello everyone, my name is Dip, and as I said, I'm joined by Meowmix here.
Hello.
And we're going to be doing an any percent run. We found something pretty interesting and pretty game-breaking within the past year, so we figured we wanted to show it off for you guys. I'm not a guy too many words. You got anything you want to say before we start?
Nope, I'm ready to get started.
All right. Well, we're going to give a countdown, and we're going to get Wario World defeated and destroyed. Are y'all guys ready? There we go. Countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck to you, man.
Okay, so this is a platformer for the GameCube. It's basically the 3D version of the Wario Land series. So basically, the main goal is to get through the 8 stages and collect red diamonds to unlock the boss of each stage. And once we get through all of those, we get to fight the final boss, and that's pretty much it. For most of the run, you'll see us doing a dash as a form of movement. And then if we jump out of a dash, you'll see Wario, like some fire coming off of him. That's called a corkscrew conk. That's going to be our main stuff like that. A little bit of bunny hop there.
Right. Another thing we'll be doing in this level is watching unskippable cutscenes, such as this one. Just trying our best to mash through the thing. We only have 2 unskippable cutscenes in the game. One of them is also in this level. It's not going to be too long, but we're also going to be entering little mini puzzle areas called sub-levels to collect red diamonds. And those allow us to unlock the boss door at the end of each level, which we're just trying to find the fastest sub-levels to do. The minimum amount of red diamonds you need for World 1 is 3, and then it's going to increase by 1 per world. So we're going to need 6 in World 4 by the time we're done with this. And now here's Garlic Man. Hopefully we never see him ever again, but...
Yeah, you can pay coins to replenish health, but, hopefully we don't die. That's just kind of how speedrunning works.
Right.
But if we do die, then we can also just pay money to revive where we are, if we have enough, which is... We're not going to have enough money for a lot of the game, so hopefully we don't die.
Yeah. Money in this game, besides reviving, is pretty useless, and even though at that point you would... If you die in like the later levels and game over, it costs 500 coins. But if you play this game casually, you'll probably have like 60,000 by the time you're at the end. So now this is Green Fist. I'll try to explain him before we delete him off the face of the earth. We punch him to get him angry and make him run off the stage. And he thinks he's tough, so he's going to come back up. We're going to punch him, stun him, pile drive him right on the edge, and he's just going to fall right off, and that's it.
Yep.
And then, you know what? I'm going to join him. We pause and exit right after we see a boss emblem that we got, and we can skip a cutscene that takes like 15 seconds. So
we'll do that in every level and boss.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going into Greenhorn Ruins, which is the first stage that has like potential major time loss. So hopefully that doesn't happen. One thing, you saw us skip over that bridge in Greenhorn Forest. If you fall off of the overworld of any stage, you go into the Unicorn layer, which is basically just a pit that drains your coins. And the really fun thing about it is that the exit is in a random spot. So that's really good for speedruns, of course. It's definitely not always the last spot.
Yeah.
So there are a few spots in this level we're going to be jumping in a hazardous way over the Unicorn layer, such as right after this trapdoor here. What a great puzzle. So we just dash against this gate kind of awkwardly and jump right at the end to get over. And then coming up here, every level after the first one has at least one battle ring, which is another really cool thing for speedruns, where if you enter it, you have to wait a minute. So we're trying to avoid those as much as we can. The skip for this one's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to be quiet for a second.
I will as well.
All right, I got it.
Well done, dude. I also got it. Whew.
Nice.
So yeah, that is admittedly a lot harder than it looks. A lot of people say it's like one of the hardest tricks early game to do, and it feels like it for sure. But something there that we also forgot to mention, trap doors are also different toughness. There's steel trap doors, which we need enemies to pile drive through in order to make it. And wooden ones, Wario's, girthy enough to where he doesn't have to worry about it. But this is Antlion. This is another very difficult boss. In order to defeat this boss, you need to punch him for a total of 5 damage for each cycle. But in the third cycle that he's going to come up to now, he's going to go into the center and he's going to become invincible. There is a way where we can skip it if we're very good at the game, but...
We're not.
Yeah. We have decided that watching the Antlion in its full glory is much more entertaining. And
that's why you missed it.
It just goes to show how hard the trick is. We'll see if we can get it.
I missed it both times.
I just got it there.
GG.
Yeah, that's a very hard trick to do. If you're a normal runner of this game, it's probably going to be where 90% of your runs end, if not the arena right beforehand. But now we have a boss that's very interesting. This boss is supposed to be extremely intimidating. Her name is Dino-Mighty, and the reason why she's called that is going to be very evident right now as you see her. But we're just going to jump and abuse a hitbox on her head immediately, and then she's going to try to get up again, but I don't believe that that's going to work. We just have a way to jump and full ground pound if we don't miss. And even if you do miss, she sometimes just raises you above her head like an idiot, and you can hit her again.
Oh no, not right now though.
Unfortunately.
But there's also just columns lying around that you can throw at her to knock her out. You just really don't want to hit her foot with them, because if you do, then she does a very long animation.
Indeed.
I have an update on Sanabi's undeteriorating skill showcase. We are 65% of the way there, almost $2,000 of the way there. We need just a bit over $1,000 by the end of the Sanabi run to see that skill showcase. We really, really want to see that, and we are running out of time. Get your donations in at gdq.gg/donate and apply them to that incentive.
I know I really want to see that.
Yeah.
World 1 is done in the blink of an eye. Now we have actual tricks we're going to start implementing in the run. But before we get there, if you have anything you want to read off, now would be a good time for that.
Absolutely. Tiger Star donated $10 to Doctors Without Borders. What a wonderful time to wake up to Wario World for a great cause.
Yeah.
There's also a $25 donation from Dr. Feelgood. Wah! So many great runs this season. Happy to donate during an underrated GameCube game to Doctors Without Borders. Much love, less than 3.
Yeah. So after this trapdoor, we have a cool skip. There's a little mini-boss called the Big Bone Fist that has a big invisible wall around it. But we can get on top of the column by it. And Wario has this really cool property where if he gets flattened, he gets up where his feet are. So if we're against the invisible wall, we can just get up on the other side of the wall. Love that strat.
It's definitely one of the more broken things in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only spot we're going to be using it, but it is broken. We also just did a bit of a weird path there. That was to avoid an enemy called a crystal entity. That's yet another thing that traps you if you get too close to it. We shouldn't see any of those, but if we do, you'll get to see it.
And what we're attempting to do now, or what I just did, is called a super jump. Wario's corkscrew conk can be inputted in such a way on the controller where you can make Wario have triple the height if you just press it good enough, kind of like what I just did there. It is a really tight input. It's like you press the dash button, you jump immediately when you can, and then you have to let go for 1 frame, and then you can press A again, and you jump triple the height if you're good at it.
Yeah, which I'm now demonstrating how not to do it. There we go. Nope, that's a gold statue piece. We don't need those. That gives you more health. Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning. When we came here yesterday, I found out that my setup at home has some pretty bad input lag. So SJs or super jumps have been a bit rough, but hopefully that won't matter too much.
He's been adapting super well.
That's putting it nicely.
But we're already at the end of the, at least I am. I'm already at the end of the level here. Also demonstrating how super jumps are not supposed to work. But the boss of this level, I'll start describing briefly. Its name is Brawl Doll. It is another boss we can just stun lock in a way, but it becomes intangible unlike others so far. I'll explain it like here in the middle of the fight. We hit it a total of 5 times to stun it the first time. And then there's pillars around the area, just like in the Dynamite fight. We just gotta wait for them to finish shooting these lasers at us, and then we can simply bop it on the head and stun lock it again. This is going to be a recurring theme for every boss in the game, minus 1, I think, or no, 2. We're gonna come up on that boss that I mentioned, one of the 2 bosses, in just the next level, I believe, where it becomes a little more complicated than just stun locking a boss over and over. I believe now would be a good time for yet more reading if you'd like.
Wonderful. Biggie Cheese donated $25. Hey Dip, Johnny Cool and the gang here. Try to run faster so you can win. Also, how many apples would it take for you to start?
None of you are going to understand that joke. That's a good friend of mine. Cheers, Biggie Cheese. 3 apples is all I'll say. 3 apples. How about you, Mamix? How many apples would it take for you to?
I'd probably just say 1.
1.
Yeah. Wonky Circus here. Bad luck. Last year, there was a skip found that skips the entirety of Wonky Circus, but it requires getting a bomb from that chest, which, based on how much testing we've done so far, is probably about a 1 in 8. So no one's actually done it in a full game run yet. And that's probably not going to change today.
We'll have to just see. Now, you guys have probably noticed I haven't entered a single sub-level yet in this world, and there was just our 3rd one that we're passing by. You may be wondering, why is that? Hey, you need to open the boss door, right? We have also found something extremely game-breaking this year that allows us to just enter the boss door without even unlocking it. And it's applicable only in a couple levels. Now, this arena, sparing the trick we just mentioned with the bomb, where we can go out of bounds and skip the level, this arena is unskippable. So we have time for more reading if you'd like.
Wonderful. We have a $7.77 donation from Trig Jegman. Wow! Best of luck to the Wario runners and the community over the years. We're also proud to see this game on the GDQ stage again, and may the best Wario win. And one more thing. Balloonless boss rush when?
Never.
Chat, if you have any other Wario noises to send my way, please do. I will do my best job at making that noise on stream. And while you're there, apply them to the Undeteriorating Skill Showcase incentive. We have time for more?
Yeah, we have time for a little bit more.
There was a $100 donation from Radical Road. Love to see Wario on the big screen. Go Dip and Meow Mix, less than 3. We also had $25 from The Knight Who Goes Knee, or Nye. Loving this early morning Wario chaos. Me too.
All right, to get back to it, here's the skip that I've mentioned. We are going to be using this balloon. I'm going to go in the air a little bit and then manipulate it to go down. I'm under the ground now. I'm going to aim very particularly this way and pray I get a good super jump, because the trigger for the boss is directly below the door. Oh, I was a little too short, but oh well. This trick can be retried over and over, so it's not that bad, but there are, like as I mentioned, there are 2 other areas where this type of thing is possible, but they are not retriable. You would have to reset the whole thing. That's why we want to just show you this one.
Yeah, and because of my super jump issues, I'm going to be trying it, but I got a couple diamonds so I can still finish the stage in case my SJs don't work when I get there. Oh, they're going okay now.
All right, come on. I got it.
Nice.
Now this is Clown Around. She is really creepy. I'll let it explain itself as she does her thing. She's gonna take off her head. You can look at that for just a second. We're gonna throw her across the other way, and then she'll come back to us, and we're going to manipulate her in a way where we follow her over next time, and then we will use respawning, and like we'll damage ourselves and fall off the ledge in order to respawn next to her, so that way we can constantly stay close to her at certain moments. Best example is she's gonna spawn the ball again, crawl on it. We gotta just kind of wait for her to become tangible. And here's what I mean. I'm going to charge throw her across the ledge, do a little setup I have here to charge off the ledge, and then I respawn over here for some reason. I'm going to damage her again, follow her across, and repeat this process until the fight's over. It's not too different from how a normal person should fight this boss, but it is much more funny because you're just kind of dying on purpose, and I don't think there's any other spot in the game where we do this, where we just kind of die on purpose to get to a boss faster.
No.
I believe you have a little bit more time for reading if you'd like.
Wonderful. Soap Agent donated $50. It's good to see Wario on the big stage. He loves the attention. We also had $10 from Wario himself. I'm gonna win. Either way, Wario is gonna win. The race is a little rigged.
A little rigged.
Wario versus Wario.
Well, now I'm going to be entering a boss called Dual Dragon. This boss is really simple in a way. You have to stun one side of its head in order to stun lock it, while the other one shoots fire at it. I can just stun lock it by ground pounding like this until it gets knocked out. There is a trick I'm going to be attempting here where on the exact frame that it would attack its blue globe cycle, I'm going to try and cut it off. Unfortunately, I didn't. There's like 1 frame window of space there for me to just cancel it out, and he'll immediately go into another fire shot attack. But it is not too much faster. Let's see if I can do it here. There it is. All right.
Nice.
Notice how the other head's not moving? Now it's going to shoot fire. It would do a glue globe shot there, which we don't want, but pretty nice.
Nicely done.
Also, I see your clown fight's going pretty good.
Yeah, no complaints so far. So now Dip is going into definitely the harder half of the game, starting with what's my least favorite level in the run, Shivering Mountains. The required ice stage, of course. Early on in the stage, there's going to be the first of 2 mini-bosses called the Angler Mangler, which is basically just a big fish thing that has a little barrel guy that you have to pile drive in such a way that it hits the light on the Angler Mangler's head. But for some reason, if you pile drive with a minimum magnitude of 3.8, I mean like exactly 3.8, the Barrel Buster's hitbox will just stay there, and the Angler Mangler will just keep getting hit repeatedly. And that saves some time, so we're going to be going for that.
Yeah. Anybody who's played this game casually probably immediately recognizes this level as their least favorite. Due to 2 reasons, which we're not going to be experiencing today, but there's some gold statue parts in areas that are just kind of ridiculous to get.
Yeah.
If you just don't know what you're doing. But yeah, here's the big fish, the Angler Mangler. Got this snowman barrel buster. I'm going to try the 3.8. I just got it there.
I have an update on the undeteriorating skill showcase for Sanabi. We have crossed $2,000, so we are less than $1,000 from meeting that incentive. We have until around the end of the Sanabi run, which is right after this, so we are low on time. We are in the final stretch of that $1,000 for the incentive. Make sure you get your donations in at gdq.gg/donate, and make sure you are applying them to that incentive. Thank you so much, Chad. We got this.
Now, I'd also mention briefly, in World 3, they decided to add 2 arenas per level for some reason. This is arguably one of the harder ones in the game to skip. In order to set it up the way we're going to do it, we're going to jump to the top, waddle, punch. There we go. And the next one in this level is... Well, should I lie to them or should I tell them that it's the easiest thing in the game?
Both.
Okay. So I'm going to fail it because it's the hardest trick in the game, but Meowmix, because it's the easiest trick in the game, is going to succeed at it. Yeah. We'll get to it when we get to it, but I'm going to explain some of these sub-levels here real fast. Right here, there's going to be one where I'm going to use momentum to skip some platforming. There's going to be a little corner I'm going to jump across and grab another corner to grab this floating block in the air, and then make it over here just fast enough to make that jump.
Nice.
There's also, obviously it's an ice level, there's a lot of ice physics, so I'm sliding around and jet dashing and keeping the momentum as much as I can. That's something we forgot to mention, is the B-hop mechanic. Wario has taken a book out of CSGO and decided to use B-hopping to get faster throughout the level. So you can land on some sort of slope of any kind that, as long as it is in the direction Wario is traveling, and he will rocket off. He'll just go super fast. Anyway, here's that super difficult arena I mentioned. Let me just... All right. It is... Thanks. I promise you, if you want to play this game at home and you want to try that, you can do it. It is that easy.
A $15 donation here from Meatball. Oh no, I missed.
Dough.
Let's see. You have time to read a little more if you like.
Wonderful, I love to hear it. We have $25 from Slickify. Do I smell garlic? Must be Wario time. Also, as an update, we are now almost 75% of the way there on the Sanabi showcase. Chat, you just need to get a little bit closer. We are almost a fourth left on that. I know we can do it. Lock in.
Pardon me as I take a nap in the middle of Angler Mangler. This one has 5 hits compared to the other one that had 3, so it takes just a smidge longer. You'll have to forgive me. But it's finally gone. We have one more sub-level we need to get in this one, and it is, thankfully, right at the end near the Stone Doohickey boss door. So I can just come down this hill, jump, destroy that bird, and get the door. Do not blink. The level's over. So, I want to let you explain this boss if you can, Meowmix. This one gives me a little bit difficulty.
Yeah, first off, this is the Winter Winster. First thing to note, he is utterly terrifying if you look at his face. So you might want to look away. So basically, he's going to fly around and drop some, I don't think they're bombs, they're just like weights of some sort. And if we throw those into the lava pits, then the fire will erupt and hit the Winster. And then at that point, we can knock him down. On a couple of the hits, we're also just going to be getting intentionally hit by his freezing breath attack, which that will freeze Wario in place so the Winster will come down so he can hit us. And at that point, we can just unthaw ourselves and hit him. And that is also... Nice dash, Wario. Oop. Shoutouts to the Faddingtons, my favorite enemy in the game, definitely. When you get frozen, he stays down a lot longer than he does when you just hit the lava. So that is helpful to do in the later phases, because then you have an easier time hitting him before he gets away. The main thing we want to avoid is if he stays up for too long, he'll do a very long attack where he like lights up his eyes red, and then if he looks Wario in the eyes, Wario inhales him. It's weird, and I don't like it.
Wario essentially becomes Balloon Mario, like P-Balloon Mario for a moment, and then gets floated over the spikes. And you have to really just mash the control stick to try and get away.
Yeah.
We didn't see it, though, thankfully. And now here's my sarcastically favorite level in the game. It's the best aesthetically for me, but this level has some unique tricks that make it extremely hard in a speedrun. Firstly is like the idea that you still need 5 sub-levels for this, and the sub-levels we have to do are a little bit intimidating. Like there's this one where you have to memorize the blocks perfectly. And then there's this little jump right here where I'm gonna try and jump onto this little slope. I missed it. Let me see if I can super jump up there. Because if we super jump up this slope, we're skipping a mini boss that we will be fighting a little later, but a different version of him. And now we have this auto-scrolling sub-level here that we're just gonna relax. I bet I didn't know this puzzle for the longest time. If you just go where the gaps are at, Wario can make it through as long as he's on the side. I used to be able to swag jump over those. I've lost that tech somehow. 7-year-old me was cooking, I tell you what.
Yeah, and it is also possible to super jump straight to the top of that, but it is insanely precise. You can also just grab the crisp diamond on the way down while you super jump, but you have to get like a max side super jump, and it's worth attempting, but not worth hoping for usually.
Right. Here we go, falling.
Oh god. The Wii's sound a bit different right now.
Yeah. And now we're going to be grabbing the last sub-level right here already in Beanstalk Way. Yeah, all these sub-levels are pretty early on in the level. Whoops, almost forgot what I had to do. But we have to... There's another arena that we're going to have to pass by. Yes, I forgot to mention, we already passed by one arena. You can skip it by accident because right there where that block was after the 3rd sub-level we did, sorry, the 4th, there is an arena right below it. So long as you dash jump to the right, you will not enter the arena. In any percent, we love that fact, but in 100%, there's like a thing in there, like a gold statue piece that you'd have to get for collection purposes. And we save it for last on purpose. Here's that mini boss I mentioned earlier. This is the tree freak, or I believe the Japanese have called it the tree demon. This has some interesting bit of lore in the Wario manga. Yes, there's a Wario manga. Wario defeats this tree demon by urinating on it. It is real, it is lore accurate, and it is the most Wario thing I've ever heard. But that is just an interesting fact that I now have in my mind. I'm going to walk around that flower to avoid another Crystal Entity fight, and then I'm going to super jump over to this little walkway here to prevent fighting another one of the tree freaks. And then we're going to have one of the hardest bosses in the game, arguably, called Spider Atticus.
You always say arguably as if it's not just the hardest.
It's not. I mean, we have the black jewel at the end.
Oh, you got me there.
Yeah. So, Spider Atticus is simple. You gotta kind of wait for it to attempt to shoot at you. You go to the middle, corkscrew conk into it. I'm going to stun it here. There are multiple different ways to do this. What I like to do is I like to walk a little bit on the branches here, come around, ground pound, and then stun it like that. This is a lot harder than it looks, and that is why it is arguable why this is something I haven't seen. Sorry, I had to come up with that on the fly. But this boss has had many iterations over the years, and this one that I'm using now is arguably the easiest, and I still failed it, but what are you gonna do about it? The real way you're supposed to fight this boss is you're supposed to wait for all of his attacks to be over, much like what I'm doing. I cannot corkscrew conk back to the beginning on a cycle like this because he's just much too fast. So I'm going to grab him. It's his last skull though, so.
We have a $25 donation here from Kivya. I'm donating because Wario told me to worry less and give more. Love to the runners, and remember, trans rights, less than 3.
Let's go.
With that $25 donation, they are entered to win a lot of our prizes in the current block, and these prizes are going to be rotating very soon, so this run is your last chance to get entered to win them. Check them out at gdq.gg/prizes.
Anyway, the boss I'm on right now is Red Brief J. This guy's pretty interesting. It's an auto-scroller boss, essentially, but I have found a way, and I have kind of cooked up a way to make him a little bit faster. I'm punching him in certain ways and walking in certain ways in order to make his attacks a little bit shorter than what they're supposed to be. And I'm also manipulating the camera to get rid of some of that particle lag you just saw. The entire fight is just this, so we have time to read off a few more things if you'd like.
Wonderful. Dark Shark donated $50 to Doctors Without Borders. Hello from the boys back home. Also, tell Dev to get in the voice chat with us.
Well.
I'd also like to shout out that we are under $800 away from meeting the Skill Showcase incentive for Sanabi. We are almost there, chat. I know you can get us across the finish line before partway through Sanabi when it closes. Time for any more?
Yeah, a little bit more.
We have a couple of $100 donations here. One from Teehee with no comment. One from Lumen that simply says RAR. And a third from Medinok that says, greetings from France. Always happy to watch GDQ. Good luck to all the runners.
Yeah, time for another.
Perfect. We have a $10 donation from KR Shush. Another GDQ, excuse me, what was that? Another GDQ. Another time when I'll have to watch the VODs, alas. But I'd be remiss not to donate. Good luck to all the runners.
I'm doing a bit of a different route here to avoid a risky super jump just because my SJs have been pretty bad this run.
Right.
There we go. Now they're fine.
Right when you pass by the flower.
Yeah, right when I pass by the worst SJ in the game.
I believe Meowmix does this boss slightly different than I do, so...
Yeah, I use an older strat that's definitely harder, so
yeah,
I'll probably also mess it up.
So you'll have to pay attention to that. That's going to be pretty entertaining. I'm just heading into the final world of Wario World. I don't know why they didn't call this game Wario Worlds, because there's multiple of them. But his version of the fight is to stun lock it and manipulate him to try and attack him a certain way. So that way, instead of stun locking him immediately, he can have his back being faced toward him, so Wario can punch it at a different time. I'm in Mirror Mansion, however, and this level is a big roadblock, for sure. It's also where we're going to be showing another out-of-bounds trick, or I'm going to be attempting to show another out-of-bounds trick to skip another arena. Because this arena in my level here is arguably the hardest to skip. At least a lot of people think so. Oh, well, thanks, Wario. But we're going to be going to get 6 sub-levels throughout the run here in my level. Jump over a gate. There's also a lot of super jumps in this level. I don't know why we routed it this way, but there are a lot of super jumps.
Yeah, it is. That's really the main reason Mirror Mansion is such a run killer, is just it has SJs about every 5 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah.
Also, I got the Spider Attica strat fine, and then I got absent-minded and messed up the last hit when I got it, so that's great.
We have a $50 donation here from Tragic Bike saying, wah! Chat, send me more of your Wario wah energy.
Wow.
I'm hearing Waluigi back there, not hearing Wario.
Oh, that was... I don't know why I was supposed to do that.
There's Wario. I heard him back there.
We finally got there.
I mean, I'd be the guy to know. So I'm attempting to grab this cannon turtle in order to use this out-of-bound trick. It is possible to get up there, and I just overshot with a super jump. I'm too good at the game, I guess. We're going to grab him. We're going to stand precisely here, look to the right, and I'm going to hope I make it there on time. Nope, but you can retry this trick, thankfully.
Yeah, this is like within the past couple months this has been found.
Yeah. We're going to clip into that little corner over there. At least I'm going to hope I can. Here we go. And here I am.
Nice.
There's an arena right here that we have to walk along this barrier to skip. And this is the never before seen route that we're talking about.
It's slower.
Yeah, it's a little slower than what you're supposed to do, but this sub-level, you're not normally supposed to do it. However, I'm just gonna do this right here and skip all these platforms that I don't need to go on and go back to the normal path. We ordinarily would drop in from there's another layer right above this that we ordinarily would have to go through. We skipped that entire layer, but in a normal run where we're not afraid of the arena, we would land in that upper layer and then do the sub-level there instead of the one we just mentioned that I just did there. Here's a 3 switches sub-level. I'm gonna try and be swaggy. I just did it. There's a switch just way up in the air that I can super jump to. You don't have to do that, obviously, but it's something that I try to bring out the swag for. We have a little bit more time to read if you'd like.
Wonderful. First, I wanted to note that we are just under $700 away from the Undeteriorating Skills Showcase now. We are steadily getting there, chat. Keep up the good work. We also have a bunch of donations with no comment, like $250 from Ian, $100 from Epsilon Minus, and $100 from Anonymous. Thank you all so much. We also have a $5 donation from UGamer81. Happy Wario Wednesday. After yesterday's Paper Mario run, I'm glad we're getting even more Wario. This was one of my favorite games on the GameCube. Best of luck to the runners, and have a rotten day. I am not going to be having a rotten day because this run is incredible.
It is indeed. There is one boss, though, I'm not excited to see, and he's coming up right now. This boss is called Mean MC. He's the only boss in this game we haven't just downright broken yet. Because he has... It's a ball and cup game. As long as your eyes are good, you're going to be able to see where he goes. For example, there he goes into the cup. See if you can follow it. Pretty easy, right? He's over here. We're going to repeat this process a few times. There's a certain thing you can make him do, which is make him spin his cane instead of spinning like this in order to make that section of it faster. But now if you notice, it's a little faster. Still no problem, but we got it.
$5 here from Spectre Mint. Wario World is the most treasure game to have ever treasured, but it's still a very fun romp all the same. Go runners, go Wario, wah!
All right. Let me see if I can get at least one showcase of this cane swirl. He does not like me for some reason.
You're literally nice.
Let's see. All right. Here's the last cycle. See if y'all can follow along at home, because this one, you really need to test your eyesight to get this one. I couldn't show any cane swirls. Now I'm actually going to get 5 cane swirls this thing.
I'm sure I will.
Did y'all see it? I did. Here I go. Going into the final level now, Pecan Sands. This level is very vertical. So you have a giant pyramid you need to climb up to get to the very top, and that's where your boss is. And we need to collect a bunch of sub-levels on the way. And nice arena skip.
Thank you.
But at the start of Pecan Sands, we're immediately going to break the level by jumping this way and just skipping. That is a 15-second commute that I just skipped by just jumping like that. And now we have a sub-level I'm just going to jump over here and do. Never mind. You know what? I don't want to do that sub-level anymore.
Are you doing the maze?
I'm in the Unithorn layer, which I guess I'm showing that it's going to be more difficult the more Unithorn layers you go in. In Pecan Sands, it's arguably the hardest Unithorn layer, and naturally, the boxes are random. I think that was like fifth to last box. But
Sounds about right.
we can just get back up here. It's not that big a deal.
$25 here from Ferox. It's Wario's world. We're just living in it. I am always saying this.
Trapped in purgatory, always saying that. But this sub-level that I'm in now is you hit a few switches and you ride up an elevator. We're going to be doing another one over here. If you guys remember the second sub-level in Greenhorn Ruins, we now have a complex puzzle with those weird blocks that we saw one time. So I hope you're ready to create bridges and platform puzzles all of a sudden. There's a big gap here that I'm just gonna jump over that skips another like 5-10 second commute. And in here is the sub-level I'm pretty sure that 90% of us as children never figured out how to do. I know Trick Jegman donated earlier. I'm pretty sure they're the only one that figured it out as a smart kid, but you're supposed to create a staircase. I created an elevator there because it's just the fastest way to do it.
You can SJ it.
Yeah, you can also do a super jump there, but we figured out that we don't like to do that, as you guys can see.
Yeah.
We have another elevator here. And you're at the end. Let's see how your main MC goes. I'm a little curious about it.
Oh, you already said it, 5. Cane twirls.
Yeah, 5 cane twirls. Well, I'm going to be standing here real fast, and I'm going to skip an arena. Just do a leap of faith there. The arena's right here. I just skipped it. I think we have a little bit more time to read if you'd like.
Wonderful. We have a $100 donation from Anonymous. I love being able to watch great runs before work. Happy TDQ, and let's get 500,000, which we meant, thank you. But don't stop there. Can we get to 1 million today? That's a little optimistic, but let's get as close as we can. We also have a $5 donation from Local S'mores Pop-Tart. Look at how long it takes to select Wario. Love this game and this run. Keep up the great work.
Here I am at the final sub-level of the level, and you gotta jump on that, I think it's a marshmallow block is the official name of it. It disappears extremely fast when Wario stands on it. I would also disappear really fast if Wario stood on me too, though, so I can't blame him too much. And then we're gonna be doing another mini skip here. I'm going to attempt to skip that climbing section by doing a punch jump, which I've never mentioned, but you just punch and cancel a corkscrew conk to get up there. And I'm gonna super jump up this little column and make it up to the boss door. That little route there that I did would save you probably about 20 to 30 seconds because you can just jump around onto the head and then jump up like I did. You would ordinarily have to dig shovels into the ground like we did magnets earlier. This is Iron Cider. Have you ever played Mario 64? This is the pyramid boss from Mario 64, except, you know, a little bit more unhinged. We're gonna beat him with his own hands, like so. Get hit a little bit. If you get hit by him, he hurts. He really packs a wall up, I'll tell you. But so long as you stun lock him like I did, he's not too bad. And now
One cane twirl.
One cane twirl?
Yep.
Man, never lucky.
Nope. Nice.
You just wanted to fall there too, huh?
Yeah, it's just such a nice Unithorn layer, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess I can show off Captain Skull and how broken he is. It's Brawl Doll Part 2. We all love Brawl Doll, right? We pick him up, come over here, we grab a barrel. Don't escape. You're stuck with me. And then we're gonna walk him over to another barrel, and we're gonna do the same thing. Hit him again. I'm gonna walk him over to another barrel. Grab it. Hit him again. Gonna keep him around this same barrel over here. Hit him again. And just pile drive him. A little early. Here we are. You're supposed to have a long duel with him where he shoots cannonballs at you from across the other ship. You're supposed to grab a cannonball, throw it at him, and then make it to him in time to pile drive him or hit him with some other sort of bad move to damage him. But I never figured out those barrels were real as a kid. I thought they were just a prop. So I just I actually did that way, and then when somebody told me about the barrels, I sighed and like careened my head back, like, oh man, wasted so much time fighting him that way.
Yeah, and if he does get away, he does like a giant cannonball that explodes, and if that goes off, it destroys all the barrels on whatever side of the ship he shoots. So it's really important to not let him escape.
Indeed.
First try.
We have the Black Jewel coming up right here on my screen. This boss, I said it's the hardest boss, and I still stand by that. It's the hardest boss to stay awake for. What I'm doing here is I'm running to the right and breaking these crystals over and over, and he gets stunned. Repeat 7 times. Yeah, so we have a little bit of time to read if you'd like.
Perfect. We have a $25 donation from Emily Prince. Supporting Doctors Without Borders is so vital in these times, as are trans rights, and I went to see this skills showcase, but I can't lie, I love the Chocobo plush. That $25 mark is what you need to get entered to win the Chocobo plush, which we are just almost out of time on getting entered to win. So if you are interested in that, get your donations in very soon. And speaking of the skills showcase, we are almost, actually, excuse me, I was about to say we are almost 80% of the way there, and then it updated to 80% mid-sentence. So thank you so much, chat. We're 80% of the way to the skills showcase. Let's close out that remaining 20. Get your donations in at gdq.gg/donate.
Wonderful. I think we have time for just a little bit more. This is a like 3-minute and 40-second fight, so we have plenty of time.
Perfect. We have a couple of anonymous no comment donations here. One for $100 and one for $500.
Ooh.
This anonymous person, very generous. We also had some other no comments, not from anonymous, like $250 from Astral Storm, $120 from Tuna, and $100 from Nox. Thank you all so much.
So I guess to mention briefly, a little strategy for the Black Jewel is you can stand close to his fire shot that he's doing there on the ground, and that'll kind of prevent him from leading his shot in front of you. He will shoot these fireballs at you, which can be a bit of a problem if you grab him and they hit you. So you can just wait for those to dissipate, and then you can continue to run to the right and repeat the process over and over. To do this boss hitless, the reason why I'm not doing that is because every hit that I take is exactly half a heart. And naturally, that means our health is even. So I just need one cycle where I am not going to take damage, and that's what I used that for just then, to make sure I stay alive after we've had this amazing fight to the death. One more Spriteling. There it is. And the time will end when Wario starts screaming that he wins, which is very polite of him to let us know when time ends. There it is.
GG.
This run's amazing, I'll tell you what. Time flew for me. I didn't even... By the time I blinked, I was almost in like wonky circus. That's what this run can do to you, is it goes by so fast. For such an enjoyable game where if you try and collect everything, it takes so long to do. But if you just play it as an any percent, like you have this going on where you have rescued one Spriteling and now there's a bunch of cages and they're locked up forever. We have gotten the bad ending, that's for sure.
That's in character for Wario, isn't it?
Yeah, kinda. It makes a lot of sense for Wario to do this, but... And now here's the best thumbnail that anybody can ever make. And while you're doing Black Jewel, I suppose I can give a few shout-outs if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
So, firstly, I'd like to give a special shout-out to the entire Wario speedrunning community. No matter what game you're running, they're always super supportive for you. no matter like if you're running a game for like a few days or if you're running multiple specific games for a long period of time, you're gonna find there somebody there that's super supportive for you. Our head of staff, soap agent staff, the head of community soap agent is really, really friendly and very knowledgeable about everything in that server. So they're truly leading something good going on here. Shout outs to also everybody that donated during our run. That's another thing. Shout out to Dangerless, who has given me quite a lot of tips and tricks over the years to get to the point where I'm at. And he also kind of like started the Wario World renaissance, so to speak, like many years back. He also ran it back in GDQ 2016 or something like that. So and actually, thank you, Wario, for existing so I can play the game. So we can play the game. You got anything, Mailmix?
I'd shout out Nick Gallagher. He came into the community a bit after I did. And the one time I had a record, he beat me like 5 days later. So that's cool.
Yeah, Nick Gallagher has... he was an interesting part of history in Wario World for sure, so he definitely deserves a shout out. He was, at the time, he was arguably the best to do it. It's sad he's, of course, stepped down and found other things to do, but that's life for you.
Yeah.
You will be missed, Nick Gallagher. Come back to run this game, please.
Well, now that you've asked, he has to.
All right, Wario is supposed to have a castle at the end of the game if you rescue all the Spritelings. We have a tent and a throne in the woods.
Better than what I have.
Yeah.
Got time for a few donations while you close out Black Jewel?
Yeah, go for it.
Mojo sent in $25. Wow. We also have $100 from A17 Tabri, as Red Wario says, let's go. I love the disrespect of calling Mario Red Wario. Incredible.
Who?
I don't know. I had to ask the team for context on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, come to think of it, like, I'm wearing a Wario hat, right?
Yeah.
There's a W on it.
Oh my gosh, are you Red Wario?
I guess I am, yeah. This is what they mean by Red Wario, not the fact that I've simply taped a W on a Mario hat.
On a what hat?
What? A Wario hat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, Red Waluigi.
Yeah, Red Waluigi.
Okay, gotcha.
I suppose while you're doing that, I can go into a level and show them truly the best thing in the game, the pause menu.
Oh, absolutely. No? All right. Like dip time comes up whenever Wario starts talking. And time.
Good job, man.
GG.
Well, we're glad to show you this run, and thank you all so much.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having us. We'll see you later.
Yeah.